Why is it better to use clusters instead of charts? Hi all, you're on the Peterson Trade channel. I'm Danya, co-owner of Peterson Trade, and today I will tell you and show you how to use clusters in trading. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because there will be a lot of informative content for scalping. And let's start already. So, what do we see here? A deal on order, standing in long, right at the top. Why did we go long at the very top? Because we see in the order book that there are 15,000 coins in long and 20,000 in short at 72, a round number. Why not come in? First, a volume of 2,000. Actually, we won't be reviewing the deal more here, so you can watch. Actually, I will be showing you how to work with clusters. In clusters, we see everything empty, calmly. The volume is currently being reduced and we are waiting for it to be adjusted. Despite not being at full volume, it is continuously being set and reset. It is evident that these 9,000 units are being rearranged, and it is crucial for us to remember this quantity. The realization of this volume is inevitable, and the removal of these 20s has already taken place. All of this occurred while the clusters were empty, but everything is fine, and purchases are taking place without any issues. You can now add an additional 5,000 units, and it will be interesting to see the outcome. The volume is gradually filling up to 10,000, which is a significant milestone at 72. Accordingly, someone in this area wants to buy nicely, and it is precisely around 72 that we can already see, based on the cluster, that buying starts at the price of 72. He's such a greenish cluster, and that's where the large purchases start. We can see that. However, at this moment, it is going to get even more interesting. Everything seems normal, everything is fine, the density is still standing. We are waiting for further acceleration, and then suddenly, just now, I will rewind it again as someone has just bought up this whole thing, and the cluster for some reason turned red. Why? I will explain. And how to interpret this now is a very cool moment. We have just witnessed a sharp purchase, and that is it, right? However, in actuality, why is this cluster red? Because an individual took it. There were approximately 8,000, it seems. Prior to this movement, there were approximately 11000 individuals. A person took 8,000 coins, just clicked on the market here up to this point, right? Well, or let's say up to 72, most likely up to 72, because there the cluster has formed. So he clicked again at 72, confirming that he wants to buy. Per plan, around 2K coins were listed for sale, which he intends to buy, and the robot sold them to him, the market maker. All we see that an additional 8,000 has been poured in, totaling. Here someone is in long at a price of 72, standing at around 18000 coins, plus or minus. Accordingly, we observe that despite the chart's significant rise, there is still evidence of buying activity, indicating ongoing demand and potential benefits for an interested party. Beneficial in one case to raise price. Hence, we grasp a high likelihood that the movement will endure and continue in the same direction. Despite seeming like the top, nothing is clear. When looking at the chart, it's 100% unclear, with absolutely nothing here. You won't see it graphically, but there's various things happening in the order book. We see that 20K have been placed, the cluster is still empty. It starts, someone bought 13,000, we can see it on the tape print, but we might not notice it. It's just conveniently filtered out, but we might not see it. And we see that this is real density, and someone is really buying, and pushing it up. So a new minute has opened. Let's see, everything looks good for now. Once again, we make sure that the volume was real, it got eaten up, someone bought well, and no one backed off. Consider how it looks. We see a huge density. So if the market doesn't need to go up, it will be afraid of it and will at least bounce back a little, give some movement, especially if the chart is bought. This doesn't happen here. It paused, nibbled the price, slightly retraced back. And we still see that the price doesn't react strongly, and on the contrary, it still wants to consume all of this further. We see this with clusters. We may not see it this way because if we just look without clusters or at the chart, nothing is visible. In the glass, it costs 0, 5K, we won't remember all this. And here we see that 16K was eaten. Why not? So that's it, it goes on, that's all. We can see that someone else also wants to buy more at the same price. We are pleased about this because it will assist us in our future endeavors. We see that once again the probability, meaning we're not saying that if someone bought 20,000 coins at the very top, it will definitely go up. You cannot say it like that. We work with probabilities. and the probability that in this case everything will go up is higher than the probability that it will go down. So the probability here is higher than somewhere in the middle of the chart where nothing is clear. Here we see that such movements contribute to our earnings. So some contaminations are already starting to appear in the clusters, but again, this needs to be observed based on the fact that some volumes are decreasing. We see that, by the way, the order book is gradually emptying. Plus, I forgot, by the way, there is also a spot order book. There in the spot market, it's a whole different manipulation. It's brilliant. Again, they put 9,000. We still honestly don't know if this is real volume or not. If they bite into it, eat it, that would be fine too. Why? I mean, it seems like everything already means that you have to interpret that if they eat it now, then that's it. It means a strong sell signal, they want to sell, that's all. Actually, no. We have to consider the context in which all this is happening. This happens during a pump. And in accordance with this, he placed a support, it got filled, he added to the position, and that is the end of it. He starts buying the price at market and dragging it. I remind you that 10,000 coins is $700,000. He previously bought 20,000 coins, and before that another 18,000 coins. And we still don't know how many times he entered before this. But the fact that he buys at the very top for such millions says something, plus another 74 round value is worth 18,000, and then we close the deal because the fact of working with clusters is already too much clear. Let's look at the same deal from the spot side because it's also very interesting there. Taking into account that 9,500 at the beginning of the deal is worth per feature, and here we see a good volume, but it's a lot. It's how much? $500,000 for sale. So accordingly, we interpret that he bought somewhere down there and now wants to sell it. So 6,500 is worth the same price as 6,500, six in all. Every dollar changes $72. 6,500, $73. 6,500. So we see an empty cluster for now. We see that it was eaten by one print. Everything is very good. Let's fast forward a little. And here we see at 9,000. So he bought here too, it turns out. Yes. By the way, this will be unnoticed now. You will see that there will be nothing strong changing in the order book. No densities at 72, but in the cluster it will be filled brightly with green and will want to buy everything. Let's take a look. So, they purchased now, correct? This tape has the potential to become lost, but the cluster enabled us to verify that he has already made a purchase of 8,000. So someone sold to someone bought from someone, plus he's pushing on the features here in general, I don't know, and 73 is also pulling the price. Very good. Following that, all of the clusters are empty. It is moving slowly. Let us observe, there is more coming in at this location. Here, that is truly excellent, the identical thing. Someone made a purchase and someone promptly bought it. Here, and we might not notice this. The cluster saw that there's a buyer again and he's still there. What are we talking about there? I mean, in fact, yes, the person is contributing on the spot, everything is fine, but plus he is covering someone, so there is purchasing power now. If 4,000 coins were placed here and couldn't be eaten, it would have gone down, then approached, barely managed to eat. No, not right now. There will be a fade later, we will see it towards the end when we just close this deal. Most likely the argument here was that the activity was fading and these densities were not being bought as much. However, at present, all individuals are purchasing items without any flaws. Everything, they even set up on the spot, they eat everything without any problems at all. Well, we see that everything is cool. Let's summarize. Another trick with clusters is that you can utilize it to determine how this individual, a substantial player, makes purchases. He can also buy, place a limit order, close it out, etc., and so on. And here we saw how he simply wanted to buy at market price, but he couldn't, so he placed a limit order. Another individual sold to him, most likely a market maker who gathers inefficiencies and so on, etc. This is the first situation. The second one is on the spot, the same thing. We see that a limit order quickly appeared there and he closed it. In the glass, it's impossible. It was all there for 1 second. That's all the movement. But in the holsters, we saw it all. And we observed the purchasing power. Question for you. Was there any specific indication on the chart indicating a continuation of the movement? I don't think so. Write in the comments if you saw something. I don't see anything on the chart. The price just keeps rising. Everything seems clear from the order book. That's why I recommend using clusters, but don't get carried away. This is very important because it is necessary to always keep in mind that both the chart and clusters represent past prices. It will not help you much. Only tape prints and only the dome show. The current tape of prints shows what is being bought or sold right now. And the glass shows what exactly will be sold at a specific price. Therefore, everything else is what has already been sold. The chart is more simplified, without clusters, without more precise data. You can play around with all of this, just sit here thinking about it, and he went in down there, so he's selling here. Or doesn't sell, we'll never know. We saw he bought, maybe he's closing a short, and we're unaware. We thought like, wow, there's some pump going on here, and he shorted around $300 somewhere, and now he wants to close this short at $1.72 and buy all this coin. And now we will be thinking everything, this reversal, it's about to start. We are now talking about some local movements. They simply give us the opportunity to make sure that we are right. What we see in the order book, then it is reflected later. I thank everyone for watching. I kiss you all. Please write what else you would like to see. Was this video interesting to you? What else to film? Maybe reviews of trades, charts, how to select coins, everything that interests you. And you can enter in the comments if you don't know what I'm already thinking. Something has already been written in the comments. Give a like to the most liked comment with an idea. I will record this idea. Thank you all. Bye for now.